Hi everybody. So I did a few videos last week, and I was due this weekend to edit a lot of them and post them up online onto YouTube. The problem is that although I did get Iceland up, and I had problems with Switzerland, when I woke up this morning to try and finish the last of them off, so that being Israel, Slovenia, Netherlands, and Azerbaijan. No, there was five of them, Switzerland included. For some reason, all of them had gone off my computer, and so it means that I'm gonna have to re-record all of them. They're reviews though, so they shouldn't be too different. So it means that those I wanted to record, it's going to have to wait, but for the time being. So that's the first part. The second part I wanted to address is that I've decided to change the way I vote, or I put my scores out. They're still going to be Eurovision based, so a max of 12. However, because of the amount of internal selections that we've had this year, I don't think it's kind of fair giving out points for national final performances in terms of stagings, but then at the same time I'm not giving out points to those that only have a music video. So I've gone back, I've gone through every single review that I've already done for the 15 entries that I've covered, and I've deducted the staging points from it. Now I know that sounds a little bit shitty, don't get me wrong, I was tossing up the idea the entire weekend, and I get that, but I just think that it just doesn't feel right to me, because I had the countries such as the Netherlands were really, really low, and we all know that's such a good entry, and it just didn't look right. So what I've done is I've gone back, I've remade a new list up of the placings. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to post that now, and so you should now see that on your screen. So that's how it looks at the moment. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not changing anything else to it. So from now on, each review I do, it's going to be based on two categories: the vocals and the song. And then it's going to be a maximum of 24 points. So as you could see just then, Italy is leading the pack with 21. So, and it's gonna go like that. And I'm gonna leave it like that now. But yeah, I didn't realise how many internal selections there were, and how many now have updated, revamped their entry, and they've got music videos and such, and it's just such a complicated mess. So I just thought it'd be easier just to do it on two things, on two categories. The other thing I wanted to mention, and I really wanted to mention this during the weekend, but my recording days are incredibly limited. Weekends are literally impossible. And they're impossible because all my family are at home and there's no peace and quiet, and I will probably just end up getting shouted at or goodness knows what. So what I decided to do it today instead, because everybody's out. It's a Monday, everything's really quiet, to my delight. During the weekend, Jake's Face Reacts posted a video up, and if you haven't checked out his channel, go ahead and do it. I will post a little link up the top. His channel is absolutely amazing. He was kind of like the inspiration for me to start this off, so gotta give it to him. He posted a video during the weekend about they'd received a phone call from, it was an international call, saying that they're part of a delegation. He didn't mention which country, and trust me, I would have done the same. I would have left it out. about that he'd been paid a large sum of money to to talk and about a country's entry in a very positive view, and not be, authentic, and and whatnot. And of course, there was a lot of there was a lot of chaos, I suppose you could say, during the weekend. I just wanted to highlight it, like, he went to the EBU and posted the information. Part of me thought it could have been a scam, somebody pretending to be a delegation and whatnot. But part of me also thought that, it just seems morally wrong. I've not heard of anybody else been in that position before, so it was quite new to me. And just it was just a bit of a chaotic weekend, and I just wanted to put my spin on it. If anyone out there does work for a delegation and they do send calls or emails or whatnot to reactors or reviewers, wherever your take on it is, and they offer you a huge sum of money, those who've done it, why did you accept the money? I mean, the whole point of us doing this thing is to be genuinely honest and talk about how we feel about these things. And those who didn't, then good for you, I suppose. If I seem a little bit off edge, which at the moment I'm okay, but a few days ago I ended up having a huge mental breakdown. Mentally, I must admit, I am not there. Like, my physical health isn't fantastic either, but my mental health, it coincides with my physical health as well. And my mental health, and that's been around for longer than my physical issues have. And I ended up having a really mental breakdown back on Thursday. I go to this centre in between doing this and pursuing my studies and researching and everything else in between, and just living a life as best as I can. I go to this place to try and enhance my skills, to try and reduce my anxiety, and this is one of my ways of doing it, through this. And also just to meet new people and try and feel comfortable around other folk. And so I went to this, I went to the centre. I was hoping to pursue doing a qualification, and I got turned away because the eligibility criterion was that you had to be in receipt of some form of benefit, and for me, I'm not in that case. I got there not knowing about anything, and I got there a tad little late, so I got into the room, I got given a document and to fill in, and I started filling it through, and it required school qualifications and all that, and I thought, okay, the provider needed to know this stuff, and I was like, alright, fair enough. And then I got part of the way down, and I'm like, and I saw this like benefit criteria, and I'm like, what's this all about? And I said to the person who was leading it, I said, what's this all about to do with the benefits? And he goes, oh, I should have brought it up. You need to bring your benefits letters with you and your identification and stuff like that. And I said, well, what about if you're not on benefits? And he goes, about that. If you are not on benefits, then you can't do the course. And I was livid because no one had told me prior to enrolling onto this course, or at least showing up to, as a part of interest. No one had told me that this was a criterion. And so you got the provider blaming the centre, you got the centre blaming the provider and the external people, and it was an absolute chaotic mess. And I was like, well, hold on a minute, why is the education Why is education only allowed to a select few people? Why isn't it universal? I felt like, as part of a student at that centre, somebody who's been going there now for over 7 months, I felt denied and cheated in the fact that only a select few were allowed to do this course. I mean, I was prepared to put a contribution towards it, but I don't know, I just feel like that education should be universal. And part of me growing up always felt that people of a certain background always got more privilege than, say, people from a lower background. And I don't really want to base it as a class issue, but to me, growing up, it felt like that. That people who were entitled to, like, say, further tuition if they were struggling or stuff like that, always came from more of an okay off background. Even at school with tuition, you either had to be, like, say, from a very low end where you were desperately struggling, or you had to be, like, I mean, financially, or you were from a background where you were comfortably okay. And then for the people in the middle, a bit like myself, we were denied that. And so growing up, it was like kind of my perspective in terms of teaching, in terms of doing that. Even when it comes to my research and the way I write, I have this motto that it should be universal to all, not just to a select few, and that's just a part of me. It took me a while to calm down and stuff, because I was agitated, I was angry, I was upset, and whatnot. So I'm just going to round this one off. It's kind of Eurovision related, it's kind of normal related, but you get the idea. So from here on, I will return back to my reviews. I will try and go through whatever I can today and go from there. So take care, guys.